hit the record button. So now we're actually streaming. So I actually forgot to hit the streaming button. I hit the record button and not the streaming button. So now, see, there you go. You were like, wow, there's a video of Jason bowling, but there's no video of him doing the show. Curve. It's a hook. It's a hook, not a curve. Oh, boy. You really know nothing about bowling, don't you? You don't know anything about SodaStream, and you know nothing about bowling. We now know this is official. How do you know nothing about bowling? You've never gone bowling? Okay, fair enough. So anyway, you can watch us on Twitter and Facebook and all those places now, especially because I've hit the button. And if you go to the SportsMap Radio Twitter feed, you'll see it there. So I knew when sports betting got legalized and it started to become more prolific around the country. When you started to get from 4 or 5 states to 10 to 20, now I think we're up to around 30-something states that have legalized sports betting around the country. And if it's not in your state yet, don't worry. It will be soon enough. But we all knew this was coming. We all knew there was going to be a point in time where sports betting, combined with, schools and sports that people may not necessarily care all that much about. I don't think you're going to get a Donaghy situation where you've got officials throwing games. I think there's too many people now with sports betting being legalized. I think the good side is there are a lot of people out there that are going to be looking, and their job is to look for irregularities in sports betting as it relates to major league sports, as it relates to even big-time college sports, maybe an Alabama football game, a Texas football game, a USC or a UCLA football game, a Notre Dame football game, irregularities, swings and spreads, giant bets, all of that stuff. But you can't possibly surveil everything. It's impossible to completely police sports betting and all the different sports. Go open up any sports betting app. You don't have to place a wager. You can still go look at the apps. I'm in a state where it's not legal to bet on sports. But I can literally click baseball right now on the FanDuel sports betting app. And you know what shows up? Yeah, MLB games. Marlins and the Cubs, the Blue Jays and the Pirates, the White Sox and the Reds. All these games for tomorrow. It's great. Yankees and Rays, a weekend series in Tampa Bay at the Trop in St. Pete. But you know what else shows up? NCAA baseball. Yeah. How many people are going to be able to police that with the just plethora of games that exist? Or let's say something like, I don't know. Let's find a good one here for leagues. How about Japanese baseball? The Yomiuri Giants, the Chunichi Dragons, Yokohama Dana Bay Stars, and the Tokyo Yakult Swallows. How are you going to possibly monitor, police, go through all of these games, all the different wagers being placed, know what every player's motivation is on every single team, not know who's throwing a game, who's striking out illegally? There is no way that point shaving and match fixing and game fixing wasn't taking place prior to 2018 when sports betting started to be legalized around the country. It's going to be even more prevalent now, or at least the efforts are going to be made now to try and figure out a way to game the system, like we're seeing in this case of this Alabama story, where you had somebody who was a friend of the head coach at the University of Alabama, allegedly, who was talking to his friend, Brad Bohannon, who was the head coach of the Alabama baseball team, and placing wagers on the team that Alabama was playing and then Alabama lost to. And now, okay, they found out it may have happened in this one instance, but now they've got to go through every Alabama baseball game this year and figure out, Was Brad Bohannon placing wagers against his own team through another person? Was somebody else profiting off information from Brad Bohannon? How bad was this? How deep does it go? And then you just start to wonder, that's one team. Think about it. One team when you're talking about the NHL, Major League Baseball, MLS, WNBA. Think about how little athletes make in the WNBA. You want a motivation to pay these women what they actually should be paid? How about, I don't know, some whale with a ton of money who's trying to win a wager in Vegas just decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to pay off a player $100K. I mean, think about it. Think about how easy it would be. Slip a few bucks here and there. You're telling me that major league, college sports, minor league sports, all these things aren't at risk at the levels where these athletes aren't making big NIL money or big dollars in professional sports? We're coming back. The Cash In. It's SportsMap Radio. Yeah, I don't need the 5. I'm glad you told me that I wasn't running because I'm sitting there looking, going, "Oh yeah, I'm only recording. I'm not streaming the show." Oh, it's funny. Yeah. No. Yeah, but they're up 13 too. And it's all late second quarter, so it's all right. If the Warriors can't win this game tonight, there's big problems. What'd you say? Did he really do that? Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's almost as bad as like Dan Orlovsky running out of the back of the end zone. Like, that's really bad. Weissman just never really picked up with them, though. That might have just been a bad draft pick altogether. And I don't care what he did in Detroit on a team that was basically, playing and one games by the end of the year that meant nothing. I need to be sold on Wiseman. How much time are you going to give him? You can't, but you give him 5 years to start playing? He wasn't that hurt this year. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think he was right for that team. But I still got to be sold on him anywhere. 65, 54. Mm-hmm. 15 minutes past the hour. So we got Golden State on top of the Lakers 67-54. as they wind down to the end of the, well, yay. They call a foul at the end of that? Oh, yeah, they did. 67-54, Golden State on top of the Lakers. Dennis Schroeder's going to go to the line, get a couple of free throws with 2 seconds left. We'll see what the halftime line looks like on that game. I mean, it really is amazing. You can bet on anything. Tennis matches with people you have no idea who they are. Sure, you know who Carlos Alcaraz is, but I can go literally bet on ITF and Challenger tournaments involving people that if I stood them in front of you right now, you wouldn't know who they were. James Duckworth against Mark Pullmans. I mean, literally and you can bet on it. I mean, this thing is geared towards literally giving you 24/7 action anywhere you want to find it. That's what these sports betting sites are. And either you're disciplined enough to only bet what you know, or you're probably getting your you-know-what handed to you on a daily basis, and you're some degenerate who's, doing God knows what to try and find money for that next bet. Charles Carter. What do you mean semi-pro? Yeah. Oh, boy. I can literally bet on darts right now if I want to. No, I'm not joking. There are bets on darts. Now, think about Charles. I don't know how much the average dartist makes. I heard somebody on another show on this network use that term, dartist, so I'm just stealing it. I don't know what the average dartist makes, but it can't be that much. That if somebody wanted to pay him off to throw a match, they're not going to throw it. I mean, seriously, what is a professional dartist make? Let's see. A professional dartist makes. When I go to look it up, it actually comes up and says what a professional artist makes. That's how absurd it is that anybody's even looking up what a professional dartist makes. What? Okay. Okay, if that's what the top players in the world, think about everybody in the world. If the top players in the world at darts are making, what are the mid-tier guys making? It's like the PBA. It's like the Pro Bowlers Tour. The average pro bowler has another job. They're usually running a pro shop in their local bowling alley, or they're giving, instruction, or, they have a ball rep deal, or they're doing something, but they certainly can't make it on. Can you make a living playing darts? Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, that might be the total price for everybody playing. I mean, there's 159 players playing professional darts, right? 159 players are on the circuit, so to speak. And according to the professional darts, whatever, darts players can earn $39,375 in prize money alone. Additional earnings may come in the form of sponsorship deals and bonuses. World's Dart Championship. So a winner in the World Darts Championship, the winner gets 500,000 pounds, which is, I don't know, I'm not sure what the American equivalent of that is, but it's probably about, I'm going to say roughly $750,000, knowing what the equation is. But the first round losers, if you lose in the first round, the round of 32, so to speak, you're only getting 7,500. I mean, my point is, there's more money to be made by getting paid off to lose in a lot of these things. Just think about an AHL game. and what the lines are in an AHL game. I mean, it's crazy when you start to think about it. You know, the money that can be made for a lot of these athletes who don't necessarily make big salaries, even European leagues and some of these other, you know, far out leagues in other countries, all of this stuff. Soccer, there's EPL, there's MLS, there's La Liga, there's Bundesliga, there's Series A. I've always wanted to say Bundesliga, Europa League, Liga MX, South America, Euro 24. I mean, there's so many different leagues out there. Even esports, you can bet, and I know this because during my degenerate days, I've actually bet on esports. You know, guys literally playing NBA 2K against one another, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, Jimmy John, win it, baby. You can bet on anything. And again, how hard would it be to get a guy to throw one of those matches? So to bring this all full circle in what we were talking about before with this story involving Brad Bohannon, the now former head coach at Alabama. And there's a full investigation underway, by the way. We're going to get answers on this eventually. And who knows how bad it is. The one thing that seems to be reported widely today is that no players from Alabama were involved. And that's encouraging, because if you're the NCAA, do you just step in right now and say, you know what, Alabama, we're shutting you down for the rest of the season? And then you start to wonder, is that fair to the kids? And these are 18, 19-year-olds. Maybe 20 and 21-year-olds. And if you're going to Alabama, chances are you got a chance to play in the bigs. That's not, some Northeast college where, college baseball isn't all that big. It's Alabama. You know, these are big boy college baseball schools. So now you've got these players in a position where they have to wonder if their integrity is being second guessed, and are they potentially at risk. Right now, it sounds like they're not involved. But still, if you're the NCAA, how do you just say, all right, yeah, we're just going to let you play out the rest of the season? How do you do that? I don't know. As of right now, they are. I know they played today. I don't know if they won or lost. And normally you would not know if Alabama won or lost on a typical day in the sports world, because nobody would care whether Alabama baseball won or lost on Thursday, May 4th, 2023. Nobody would care. But now Brad Bohannon's made everybody care whether or not their college baseball team has won. And now every college probably has to do a deeper dive. I mean, Alabama is probably the scourge of the college baseball world, of the college athletics world, because now every AD at every major Division I school has got to sit there and go with a fine-tooth comb through every game and talk to every coach. And they got to put on these training seminars now where they're going to have to sit there and explain, hey, you can't do this. You shouldn't have to explain this. You shouldn't have to tell your coach at your major Division I college basketball, football, baseball, soccer, lacrosse program. You shouldn't have to tell them, yeah, you know what? You may not want to be involved with people betting on your team, or you yourself may not want to be placing wagers through a proxy bettor for a game for or against us. You may not want to do that. You shouldn't have to tell this to somebody. But in this new wild, wild west of sports betting that is prevalent, and look, I love sports betting. We talk about it all the time on this show. I get giddy about it. I want to move to a state where it's legal, because California sucks and it's not legal here. All right, California doesn't suck, but it does suck when it comes to sports betting. California and Texas. But Texas doesn't have it either. And the scary part is Texas may get it before California does. That's the amazing thing. Everybody thought that Texas would be the last state to do it. Now you got Rick Perry and all the lobbyists over there going, hey, Mark Cuban, hey, we need sports betting here. Yeah, because everybody wants their piece. They want to put a sports book inside American Airlines Arena or at the Jerry Dome. And the funniest part about this whole thing, Pete Rose, Cincinnati Red, got busted for sports betting, obviously in Cincinnati. The Black Sox scandal involving the Chicago White Sox involved a sports bettor in Cincinnati. The Alabama baseball program, which used to be coached by Brad Bohannon, got wrapped up in a sports betting controversy based in Cincinnati. Put all the pieces together, and there you go. We're coming back. Stay with us. The Cash In, SportsMap Radio, and the SportsMap Radio app. You accidentally popped on your mic there, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. Hey, other producer, wait. You can bet on snooker. You can bet on fucking snooker. The World Seniors Championship of Snooker. Snooker. I'm surprised. I actually don't see that yet. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm actually looking. I figured there would be. Let me see if it's in tennis. No, not there yet. Dude, I don't mess around. I need good people around me. No joke. I need good people around me. You do a good job. I'm going to make sure they know it. No, you're good. That didn't go well, I guess. A married couple. It's funny. I felt a sneeze coming. Thought I was going to have to kill the mic. And then you said, Mike's hot, and it went away. You scared away my sneeze. That's what people say when they look at me all the time. Made for radio. Got a face for radio. But that's not true. You can watch the show right now over on, God, what little hair I have grows back too fast. I hate this. I feel like I just got a haircut the other day. No, not facial. I mean, facial always grows fast, but like the hair on the top of my head, what little hair I have left, it just grows back too fast. I buzz it, comes right back. Like I need a haircut like once every 3 weeks. It's nuts. And now that we're doing more video projects with my company, Decibel 88, which produces and puts out this show, The Cash In. Now that we're doing all these other things, I'm on camera more, and that leads to me having to look decent, and lose weight, and all this stuff. I did get some good news today. My blood work came back that I had done literally just Monday. I think I had blood work done. Tuesday, I had blood work done. It already came back. Boom, just like that. No, it was yesterday. I think I got blood work done. Anyway, it came back. And a lot of it was very good news. So I'm getting healthier, which is good. Thank you. Yep. It's tough, man. It's tough. It ain't easy losing weight when you're 45. It was a lot easier even at 40 and 35 and 30. It is not easy trying to lose weight. 1-800. What do you mean? Oh, you watching? Yeah. No. Oh, this is actually the same space. We've just finally decorated it with, we got a new shelf, and we got new lighting and a new console. And yeah, this is actually what we're going to be using for some of the TV projects we're going to be working on. So, yep. Yes. Yeah, I don't look like I'm in a hostage video anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I needed to hold up a newspaper showing like what day it was, that sort of thing. Nope, we're good. We're good. So anyway, we are keeping tabs on this NBA playoff game tonight, an NHL playoff game as well. And right now we've got end of the first period over on TNT. Seattle and Dallas are scoreless. Game 2, Western Conference semifinal series, with the Kraken up 1-0 there. And the Lakers trailing Golden State 67-56 at the half. Lakers jumped out to a good start in this game, and Golden State came roaring back in the second quarter. 67-56, Warriors on top of the Lakers. We'll see what happens there in the second half. Lakers have already done what they came to do. But tonight, Anthony Davis, much different story. And look, they're going to go as Anthony Davis goes. 30 points and 23 rebounds in game 1 for Anthony Davis. You know what he has tonight? 4 points, 5 rebounds at the half. They're only going to go as far, not as LeBron takes them, but as far as Anthony. Oh, is that a no goaltend? Wow. They're only going to go as far as Anthony Davis takes them. It's not enough for him to simply be healthy. They were talking tonight, I think they said, this is like the 20th or 24th game in a row that Anthony Davis has played without getting hurt. And I'm like, really? That's a thing? Like, when that's the stat that they're quoting about a guy, you know you've got injury problems. Oh, somebody just went down for the Lakers. That wasn't pretty. Clunky start to this third quarter. I said we'd give you some live betting numbers on this as well. So let me be a man of my word and pop those on you right now. Right now it is Warriors 67, Lakers 58, Lakers plus 10.5, plus 430 on the money line, 231.5 is the total. I'll tell you right now, if you can get the Lakers at 10.5, take them. I just don't see them getting blown out of any of these games. I think all these games are going to be close. I really do. I think all these games are going to be close. And that includes tonight for me. I think this game will wind up, being within that margin. So if you can get the Lakers right now at 10.5, it might even go up a little bit if you wait a second here. If you can get them at 10.5, 11.5, go ahead and take them. We'll officially put it in at 10.5. So we got Lakers at 10.5. That's our pick. And we'll see what happens. I like it. I think I think the Lakers are going to win the series. I don't think it's going to be easy by any stretch. I see a lot of close games. But the difference between close games against Sacramento and close games against the Lakers is the Lakers aren't going to simply fold up like a cheap card table because they've never been in that situation before. You're not going to get that out of the Lakers. There's just too much experience on this roster for the Lakers to become unglued or unravel in a big moment. And you look at the major guys that are going to have the ball in their hands late in games for the Lakers. Schroeder, LeBron, AD, even D'Angelo Russell, who's been around the block. I mean, these aren't guys who are going to wilt in a big spot. So we got Golden State up 68-60. And again, Lakers plus 10.5 is our special for the night. You got a thought? You want to weigh in? Are you in a sports betting legal state? Because here's the other problem too. When you start talking about, wagers and crazy swings in betting, the average bettor doesn't know about these things. He's just putting in a bet on a game that he likes while he's at the casino, or he's got the app and it's on his phone. He's got nothing to do and he's got a few extra bucks and he wants to put it on a game, or, FanDuel or DraftKings or MGM. Somebody sent you a deal and said, hey, you deposit $25 and you lose. We're going to give it back to you. Whatever it is. There's so much money floating around in this sports betting industry right now. And so many different ways they're trying to lure in new sports bettors. So as much as it's on the leagues and the teams and some of these gambling commissions that have been established by, the various states that have legalized sports betting, the other aspect to this is the sports betting companies themselves should care. Because if it starts to become a situation where sports betting is illegitimate and people don't believe the outcomes are above board, that they think something nefarious is going on, then you're going to have a world of trouble for these sports betting companies as they try to bring in new subscribers and new players and funnel them in. It's just going to become a problem. There's no getting around it. You're already seeing some of these sports betting companies that are in trouble as far as trying to make money with sports betting because there's too many of them. And you're hearing about different companies closing up shop and different pick'em games are closing up shop. Sports betting companies right now are not making the pretty penny that I think they thought they would when sports betting launched, because what it's costing to acquire new players, it's just not making it cost effective. When it's costing you $500 or $600 to acquire a new player who's going to bet a few times and then not do it again for a couple of years, that's not cost effective. And that's the problem for the sports betting world right now, is it's costing them too much to acquire new players. Well, this didn't go well for us. We said take the Lakers plus 10.5. Golden State leads the Lakers 82-64 in the blink of an eye. It was an 8-point game like 5 seconds ago. And just like that, Golden State's up 18. Who got hoodwinked? This guy. Always. It never fails. It never fails. Every time I see a big number and I fall victim to it and say, take the big number, every time I wind up getting burned. Who? I don't know. How am I going to know what they want to talk about? Is it snooker? Oh, okay. That would be the most random thing. See? Off-season football? Okay. Well, what's the person? They don't want to give a name? Yeah, put them through the ringer. We'll talk to them. 800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. You want to text the show, go ahead and do it. 888-670-8549. 888-670-8549. You can text us as well. Well, Lakers are in trouble, down 18, 7:46 to go in the third. Just as I said, there's not going to be any blowouts in this series. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Some days you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball. We're coming back. More of the Cash In on SportsMap Radio. Brandon, where's he calling from? Go name and where they're calling from. Joe Montana. George Kittle. Looking like a drug dealer. Okay. Do me a favor. Be very... Hold on one second. Be very, very... Golden State leads the Lakers 88-69. About 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Michael Green was a late addition to the starting lineup because Kevon Looney was under the weather tonight. He's still playing, but he's under the weather. And Golden State has gotten 13 points out of Michael Green, who's hit a couple of threes. And he used to be a good player with Memphis back when he came into the league. Boy, that 3-point line on the corner, that is a short shot. That's a really short shot for these guys. See if the Lakers can respond. Down 19, 88-69, 5:43 to go in the third quarter. The call-in number, 800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. The text line is 888-670-8549, 888-670-8549. Text in to us from Jerry in Texas. Says, Jason, who do you like in the Boston-Philly game tomorrow? Look, Boston should win this series. Boston is the more talented roster from player 1 through player 12. Problem is you don't play player 1 through player 12 when you get to the postseason. Usually that thing shortens up to about 8 or 9. And, as good as Joel Embiid is, he's clearly not 100%. James Harden gave you a great game 1. He struggled in game 2. The question really is in the head coaching department. Joe Mazzulla against Doc Rivers. And honestly, I'm not as big a believer in Doc Rivers as a lot of people are. A lot of people are, Doc Rivers, great coach, won a championship with the Celtics. Yes, then he begged his way out, went to the Clippers, won nothing. He's gone to Philly and won nothing. And before that, he won nothing in Orlando. So, you could give me all the Doc Rivers stuff you want and all the anecdotes about how great a head coach Doc Rivers is. I'm not necessarily one of those people. He had 3 Hall of Famers on his team. He won 1 championship. 1. So it just doesn't do a lot for me. And then he got his championship, and then when the team sucked, he decided he had to leave. He didn't want to stick around for a rebuild. He wants to go to teams that are ready-made to win, like in the case of the Clippers, which didn't win, and now in the case of Philadelphia, which hasn't won. So, but Joe Mazzulla is rather inexperienced. And when you're talking about somebody who's got that lack of experience, you don't know what you don't know. You could have all the smart people around you that you want. I'm not necessarily sold on the idea that Joe Mazzulla is the guy to lead the Celtics to a championship this year. That's why I said when the playoffs started, I loved the Knicks. At the odds you could get them at, I think they were plus 18. Well, now I think they're still like plus 1,800 to bet the Knicks to win the NBA championship. I'd bet that. All right, Brandon in Florida, you're on with Jason Page on SportsMap Radio. What's up? I'm good. What's on your mind? Yeah, you look at Jacksonville and you look at the early Super Bowl odds betting right now. They're plus 2,500. So if you wager $100 on them, you're winning $2,500 if they win the Super Bowl. Now, that sounds like long odds, but if you actually compare their odds to the rest of the league, they're actually second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. They have the 10th best odds. There's 30 teams in the NFL. Or 32 teams in the NFL. You've got all these teams, and they actually have the 10th best odds out of all these teams to win a Super Bowl this year. They're tied with the Chargers and Dolphins at number 10. So I don't think that's a terrible wager at all. When you consider this team went to the playoffs last year, they're going to be a year older. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to get better. I think Doug Peterson, and having another year for him to acclimate to this Doug Peterson offense. I love Evan Engram. I'm so glad they brought him back. Calvin Ridley is certainly going to be a good addition. I don't think that's a bad pick at all with Jacksonville at plus 2,500. Again, as a long shot, understanding that your chances of winning aren't great. If you throw $10 on them and you win $250, absolutely, I would do it. No, you can't. No, that Urban Meyer year was one of the I mean, could you talk about a worse year for a rookie head coach in the league and a rookie quarterback for Trevor Lawrence to go through that? And I'll tell you another thing. It says so much to me about Trevor Lawrence and his toughness mentally, and I appreciate the call, Brandon in Florida. Thank you. I got to tell you, it says so much to me about Trevor Lawrence's mental toughness that he was able to go through an entire season. All the chaos that ensued with Urban Meyer, the stuff with him and other women in bars, the stuff with him, kicking punters or kicking field goal kickers, whatever it was. I mean, for Trevor Lawrence to come out of that, basically lose an entire rookie season, right? To go through that and then come out of the other end of it with another new head coach, having to learn a new offense, new everything. Different players, Evan Engram gets brought in. And to go to the playoffs, and that team battled back. Remember, that team was dead in the water, 12 weeks into the season. They battled back late in the year, and they were one of the best teams over the final third of the season. And they had to play their way in. They didn't just play in one playoff game. They really played in 2 or 3 playoff games because they needed those games just to get into the postseason. I have a lot of respect for Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to be a great quarterback. I mean, you really think about the NFL right now. Go through the list of quarterbacks and the guys that you would pay to watch. You'd go plunk down some money to go watch in person. Just in the AFC alone, think about it. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Tua Tagovailoa if he's healthy, Justin Herbert, Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. I think I'm at 7 or 8 now. Even Deshaun Watson, for whatever you think of the Browns for being stupid and giving him this unprecedented guaranteed contract. Fully guaranteed. Put him in the mix. I mean, Geno Smith, the year he had last year. There's a lot of really good quarterback play in the NFC, in the AFC, and Trevor Lawrence is a part of that. Well, it's not looking good for our Lakers pick, plus 10.5 right now. Hopefully Brandon didn't go and put any wagers on that one. Warriors lead the Lakers 92-72, 3:52 to go in the third quarter, and Draymond Green's barking at somebody. What a shock. What a shock. What do we got here? Oh, somebody get tripped? What on earth happened there? Did they call a foul on Draymond for this? Oh, did you see that little move there? It looked like Draymond stuck out his foot to try and trip Schroeder as he was going by. Am I wrong? No, it looked like he tried to trip him, but I don't think he did. They going to go to the monitor on this? Yeah, it looked like Schroeder kind of got around it. It looked like Draymond tried to trip him up. But, I mean, can you call anything if he didn't actually trip him up? I know it's the old thing, like, hey, somebody tries to rob a bank and they don't succeed. Well, then you can't arrest them. Oh, I see what Schroeder did. Yeah, Schroeder grabbed it. Schroeder grabbed his leg. That's on Schroeder. Schroeder ran around the Draymond screen and grabbed his leg on the way by. They're going to call a flagrant on this. Are they going to call a flagrant for him wrapping his arm? Oh, Jesus. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 My God. How did NBA basketball exist in the 90s? How old are you, Charles? Oh, Jesus. I can't even have this conversation with you. You were born in the late 90s. Bleeding Christ. Oh, my God. It's awful. In the 90s, they were literally playing rock'em sock'em basketball. Dennis Schroeder grabs the leg running around a Draymond screen, and it's a national crisis. It's like an international incident. Another hour of the cash-in is right around the corner. Oh, thank God that caller was okay. I kept waiting for something because nope. Nope. Say that again. I'm sorry. Yeah, J. Michael Green. Yeah, he's had a nice game. Oh, my God. Warriors are making shots tonight. I mean, that's the reality. They just missed. They had a lot of looks in game one. They didn't make them. Making them tonight. Yeesh. It's a rough night. I wonder when you call it. Michael in Round Rock, Texas. Staff writer. Shit. It's the last thing I wanted tonight. Just have a ho-hum game, nothing to talk about. Ugh. And one? No. I don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers. How funny tonight. We got texts, we got a call, and now I just got a tweet, too. How funny. Nick Hamilton. Okay, Nick Hamilton's going to come on after the game. Another hour starts right now on SportsMap Radio and the SportsMap Radio app. Charles Carter is our producer-engineer. I'm Jason. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Well, this was the worst-case scenario. You didn't want to see a blowout. And I didn't think any of these games would really be this way, but you almost should know better because game two in a lot of these series, when game one gets stolen, on the road by, when you're on the road and you steal game one of a series, you see it all the time. Game two, go look at Philly and Boston the other night. Game was a 40-point massacre. And yeah, the Knicks and Heat was relatively close down the stretch, and the Knicks wound up beating the Heat in game two. But I mean, you see this all the time in series where a team wins the first game on the road. In the second game, they just kind of take their foot off the gas pedal. And the difference tonight is Golden State's making shots. The Warriors are making shots they didn't make the other night. Yeah. And you know what? The other night, it was the exact opposite story for Klay Thompson. I mean, they're just, oh boy. I mean, you got guys passing up layups right now for the Warriors and then trying to, pass out for threes. I mean, they're looking to run it up tonight. Look at Curry. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I just saw it. He just hit an insane three. And there's Dell yucking it up in the crowd, Dell Curry. It's 105-78, 53 seconds to go in the third. So, if you had the Lakers plus 10.5, my apologies. You could have them plus 20.5 right now, and it still might not be enough. I mean, Golden State's 18 of 33 from three. 18 of 33 from three-point range. They're shooting that good. You got no chance. Doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. The Lakers, I think, are 9 of 24 if I saw the statistic correctly. LeBron's barking about wanting a foul call. I mean, you're down 27. I think, did he get teed up? Must have gotten teed up. Curry gets the free throw. So 106-78. In what looks like it's going to be a laugher. Nick Hamilton from Nightcast Media, SiriusXM, will hopefully join us in this hour. Once this game goes final, we'll get him on the show. And can they just go running time for the fourth quarter? You know how they do it in high school? When a game's a real blowout, they just go running time. Can we just go running time for the fourth quarter of this game, get it over with? Yeah. Jerry in Louisville, Texas says, damn, glad I didn't bet that one. Have a good show. Saying he's glad he didn't bet the 10.5 that we gave out. I always get roped in when I see these double-digit spreads live in an NBA playoff game because you think that an NBA playoff game can't possibly turn in to the kind of route that this has turned into at 106.80. And it's happened. There it is. It's a route. In the first hour of the show, we were talking about the sports betting. We did a lot on sports betting in the first hour of the show tonight. In particular, what's going on with this story in Alabama. And the fact that you can literally bet on anything. And why we believe, oh boy, LeBron's going to get tossed. LeBron is going to lose his mind right now. Yeah, I think they're going to challenge it. They're going to challenge it. So I was talking about in the first hour, this Brad Bohannon thing out of Alabama, where you get this Alabama coach, and he is involved and tied up with somebody who either was placing bets for him, allegedly, or was placing bets and using information that was being given to him by Brad Bohannon. And it caused a halting to betting last week on Alabama baseball games in multiple states. So it became a huge mess. Brad Bohannon got fired today. And here's the other thing. I want to point this out before I get back to the whole what we were talking about with this. You know how much Brad Bohannon, I'm gonna throw this one out. Ready? Charles Carter, producer engineer on the show tonight in Houston. Do you know how much Brad Bohannon was being paid by the University of Alabama? Yeah, that's why. Yeah, so see, this is that. I was shocked when I saw how much he was being paid. I'll give you that hint. Well, he just got, I think, renewed in 2021. His contract is through 2025. How much do you think he's being paid? No, that's way too high. But he's making $250,000 a year in salary and another $250 in appearance fees by the school. So that's how they're able to rationalize, you got to go and appear at the Rotary Club and crap like that, and go see the boosters and whatever. Gets $500,000. This dude, for coaching Alabama baseball, I mean, just flying under the radar when you think about this pro and collegiate sports world. Who the hell cares about Alabama baseball? Just go win some games. I mean, maybe they are. And even if they are, that dude is making $500,000 large to coach Alabama baseball. What the hell do you think he could have possibly been making betting on sports games? And I'd like to know what these wild swings were that caused the halting in betting, that somebody looked and said, that seems like a little too much for somebody to be betting on an Alabama LSU baseball game. We need to halt the betting. Look, how do bank robbers get caught? I say this all the time. Bank robbers don't get caught robbing a bank the first time. Bank robber. I have made this point for 10 years on the radio, and people think I'm nuts when I say it, but it's really true. You want to rob a bank once? I'm not encouraging, by the way. I'm not trying to tell anybody listening to this show. I am not endorsing the idea of you going and robbing a bank using a Snickers bar and pretending it's a gun. I'm not doing any of that. But I am going to ask the question. You rob a bank once, you're probably going to get away with it. You might get a grand. They're going to give you what's in the tiny safe. They're not taking you into the vault. You'll get some money and you'll run out the door, and you'll be on TV for a couple of days with a picture of you in a ski mask, and you'll get away with it. You know why bank robbers get caught? It's when they try to rob the bank a second or a third time, or they go back to the same area where they robbed the bank and go to a different bank. This is why bank robbers get caught. It's not because they're inept at robbing the bank. It's because they get greedy. If Brad Bohannon had placed one bet through a friend on a college baseball game through some sports book in some far-off state nowhere near Alabama, probably would have gotten away with it. But when you start doing it again and again and again, it's the bank robber syndrome. You don't get caught robbing a bank the first time usually. You'll get caught robbing it the second time. It's the greed. It's thinking you could get away with it again. That's oftentimes what will get you in hot water. Not robbing it once. Not betting on it once. Running a scheme, that's where you're going to get in trouble. And that's probably what happened in the case of Brad Bohannon. And now he's out of work. He had a $500,000 job. $500,000. The dude could have worked for, till he was, 5, 10 years. And he's done. He can walk away. Sit on the porch with Country Time Lemonade. Bartles and James. Life would have been good. Instead now, he's a pariah in all of sports. And the investigation isn't even done yet, and they got rid of him, which tells you they know something. They already know he has ties to the person who placed these large wagers in Ohio that had betting basically shut down on Alabama sports in Ohio. Just amazes me it just amazes me the stupidity of some people. and how they get to certain points in life. And who knows? Maybe Brad Bohannon's maybe we'll see him on TV in 6 months telling us, I have a gambling addiction and you need to feel sorry for me. I did it because I was addicted. I did it because I was in so deep with the mob. They were going to break my legs. They were going to break my family's legs. That's the next shoe to drop, right? It has to be. He's going to, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I got an addiction. You hear it all the time. Somebody writes something stupid on social media. I have an addiction to drugs or alcohol, and it caused me to go on Twitter at 11 o'clock at night and write something racist. You should feel bad for me. There's no accountability. I mean, otherwise, if you're Brad Bohannon, your entire career, everything you have built your life around is over. I don't know how old the dude is. Don't really care. Brad Bohannon, age, Alabama. Let's see, how old is it, Brad Bohannon? Oh, he's 47. Of course I did. I mean, come on. You can't spell Bohannon, dude? I mean, come on. How do you spell it? How would you spell it? No, because now you're going to go look it up. Come on, 15 seconds. That's an eternity to spell it. Yeah. No, oh my God, you're not even close. Spelling bee champion, you are not. We're coming back on the cash-in. Stay tuned. You really can't spell Bohannon? There's been a lot of famous people. A famous radio host for years was named Jim Bohannon. He was a talk radio host. Oh, yeah. You see, you're just like him. You got an excuse for screwing it up. It's B-O. See, Jerry Michaels or whatever his name was right about you. It's just a mess. That's it. You're off the show. Bohannon. Bohannon. Overrated. That's what I need. I need a button that I can press. I gotta find that. Let's see. Overrated. Let's see. Overrated chant.
Overrated.
There you go.
Overrated.
Il est tout mon monde, et bien plus que ça. Il est tout mon monde, et bien plus que ça. Seul je crie son nom quand viennent les désarrois.
Heavens. All right, there you go, Hachimura. All right, here comes the Laker comeback down 110-82. There we go. Yep. Oh my God, Curry again. Jesus. At the position, at the game overall, the history of the game. Ask me that on the air. 15 minutes past the hour. Stephen Curry just hit another three and got fouled. How many points does he have? Golden State's got 114 to the Lakers 82 right now. What's Curry got? Oh, he's only got 17. All right. He's only 6 of 10 shooting. The big night is Klay Thompson. What's scary is that the Warriors are going to win this game with Curry only having 13. And you got to imagine you take him out soon. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, look, when I think of Stephen Curry, I don't think of point guard. So if we're talking about, you were asking me a question during the break. We'll bring it on the air. Go ahead. No, it wouldn't be a point guard. He's a two. He's not a point guard. He might sometimes have to bring the ball up the court, but he's bringing the ball up the court and then he's jacking up a three. I mean, I don't think of him as a point guard. I think of him as a two guard. And, when you talk about the greatest shooters to ever play the game, I mean, he's got to be at the top of the list. But here's the thing, and I get crushed on this take with Curry. If Stephen Curry had played his entire career on the New York Knicks and not the Golden State Warriors, is he the Stephen Curry we know today? How much of him is a product of the cast that he is around, particularly the guys, he got to play with Durant, got to, playing with an all-time shooting great in Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, who's an all-star. If you put him on the bad Knicks teams of the last decade, Stephen Curry's not winning all these championships and he's not getting all these accolades. He's a guy that's, he's Trae Young. I'll say that. If you put him on all these Atlanta teams over he's Trae Young. I'm sorry. I think he's an amazing shooter. And you can make all the shots in the world, but if the team around you sucks, then what are you? So I've gotten hit on this by fans in the Bay Area all the time when I say this, but I don't think anybody can argue this point that if he isn't on this particular team with this coach and this roster composition over his entire career, what is he? What is Stephen Curry if you put him on any other roster? Whereas I can tell you, LeBron James was able to take Cleveland to an NBA final with a bunch of guys that barely even belonged in the NBA the first time. He won a title with them. He won titles in Miami with different groups of players. He won a title in LA with Anthony Davis. I mean, so when we start getting into these conversations about, well, all right, fine. You asked me about him. Look, he's the greatest shooter I've ever seen. I mean, I'll tell you, when it comes to Stephen Curry, if we're going to have a conversation and say, where is his place in the game, that sort of thing. Greatest shooter I've ever seen. Done. That conversation's over. But if you start talking about where he goes in the history of the game, the annals of the game, and you start, say, well, is he better than LeBron? No, he's not better than LeBron. Are you out of your bleeping mind? He's not better than LeBron. LeBron at the end of his career, forget having the lead in scoring and being the all-time scorer. He may wind up with all-time marks in a whole bunch of different categories. Not just that. His longevity, the physicality, the physicality that he has to endure from other teams. It's like when Shaq played. Shaq used to get mauled by teams. And you know why officials wouldn't call fouls against Shaq? Because he was so big, so they were like, he can handle it. He wasn't graded on the same scale in terms of physicality, so teams would practically, assault Shaquille O'Neal when he had the basketball because he was so big and so strong. They said, we can get away with it. And the officials were like, he's so strong he can handle it. Shaq took a beating in his career. Took an absolute mauling in his career. LeBron's the same way. And 20 years in the league, he's still running downhill and guys are just getting out of the way. Is Curry the greatest shooter I've ever seen? Absolutely. Is he LeBron? Is he on LeBron's level? Absolutely not. No chance. I can't put him there. I just can't. Great player. All-time great shooter. Greatest shooter. But LeBron did everything. LeBron's done everything. You know what I mean? LeBron's done it all. If you took here you go. I'll do you one better. Sorry, Charles. I got to get this in while it's fresh in my brain. If you took Curry and replaced Curry, if you took Curry and took LeBron out and put Curry in the places where LeBron has been, you think those teams win championships? You know the answer. Stop lying. You know the answer. The answer is no. Maybe in Miami. But they already had a shooter. His name was Ray Allen. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Is Curry winning a title with Kyrie Irving in Cleveland? Hell no. Yeah, but here's the thing. But here's the thing. I could take LeBron and put him on these Warrior teams. They're winning a title if you take Curry off and you put LeBron in. So that's my argument. I mean, that's my argument. If you're gonna have a conversation, if we're gonna have a conversation about where he is in the all-time greats, he's not better than Jordan. He's not better than LeBron. He's not better than Wilt. I mean, is he top 10 all time? I don't know. Maybe at the end of his career. How long is he going to play? I don't know. He's been in like 10 years? Something like that? 11 years? I don't know. He had the ankle. He had the ankle problems. They thought he would never be right. I mean, he had such terrible ankle issues. I remember I was in my first go around. I had 2 runs in San Francisco as a sports radio host. Both of them were shorter than I would prefer to remember, but that's another story. The first go around was when he was having all these ankle problems, and Mark Jackson was the coach. That's how long ago it was, and they never thought that he would. Yeah, the concern was he was just never going to be able to live up to his potential because he was one of these guys that would just always have chronic injuries, and the ankle thing became real, and people didn't think he'd recover from it, and thankfully he did, and he's wound up having this amazing career. And look, he is for today's NBA, he is so undersized. I always thought the concern was would he. Like Allen Iverson, playing so hard. But the thing was, Allen Iverson was a guy that went to the basket a lot more. So he was enduring a lot more contact. And once it was over for Iverson, it was over. It was done. He could not do it anymore physically. Because Curry plays so much on the perimeter, but he's still getting bumped out there. Still having to work around screens. Guys are trying to keep the ball out of his hands. He deals with a certain measure of physicality. It's nothing like what guys in the middle are dealing with. And you got to also remember this. LeBron has been in the league 20 years. He's basically at 10 more years of physicality that he's had to deal with. And I know this wasn't supposed to be a LeBron versus Curry thing. I just think it's always comical when people start to, they become prisoner to the moment. And they'll watch Curry on a night where he puts up 50 against a Kings team that's got more holes in it. Well, a lot of holes, we'll just say. And they'll go crazy and say, "Oh, the greatest of all time." All right, fine. He had a great night, and he put up 50 against a Sacramento team that didn't play a lick of defense in that game. But LeBron. Here's the thing about LeBron. If I'm comparing the two again. LeBron could have averaged 30 plus every year if he wanted to. Wasn't his game. He was like Magic. He wanted to distribute. Magic could have averaged more points if he wanted to. Magic was a ball distributor. That's what LeBron was. LeBron, whether or not he thought he could score, his decision was get the ball into the best position for us to score, even if that's not me. And there's so many stars in this game that won't do that. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation, the Curry thing. No, and he's not. And like I said, he's not a point guard, but he's the greatest shooter of the basketball I've ever seen. I'm not going to go that far beyond that. He's not much of a defender. He never has been. You could score on him all day. From time to time, he'll grab some rebounds, and because he gets so much attention shooting the basketball, he gets some assists, but great shooter. Greatest I've ever seen. We're coming back. Hold on one second, Charles. Boy, you got to truly be feeling like a degenerate right now if you're still looking at live betting on this game. But I'll give you the numbers anyway. because that's what I do. Lakers plus 28.5. Seriously, if you're looking to live bet this game, you've got problems. Seek help immediately. 28.5 is the number. Lakers plus 28.5. Stephen Curry's doing dances on the sideline. It's 127-98 Warriors on top of the Lakers. Here's the good news. It doesn't matter if they win by 1 or they win by 30. It's one game. And the Warriors made just about every shot in this game, it felt like. What are they shooting from the field? Can I pull that up here real quick? And then I'll give you an update on hockey. Let's see. LeBron, by the way, 23 tonight. Anthony Davis, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, and a steal. A minus 22, by the way, for Anthony Davis tonight. And you knew it. What was going to happen? The Warriors came into this game determined to take Anthony Davis out of the equation. And they did. 33 minutes, 11 points for Anthony Davis tonight. D'Angelo Russell, I think, had 19 in game 1 tonight. 10 points, 5 of 12. Lakers have shot 43.8% from the field. The Warriors have shot 53.9% from the field. The Lakers out-rebounded the Warriors in game 1. I think it was 40-35 tonight. 49-36 advantage to the Warriors. Every number that was, basically there in game 1 was flipped on its head for game 2. That's what you got. Not a big surprise. You guys tweet at me. I'm going to read them. My apologies. Earlier in the show, Michael tweeted us out of Round Rock, Texas. We were talking about sports betting and how it's so prevalent and how literally you can bet on everything, including the AHL. And Michael tweeted at the show, I was just listening to the show, and I'll go one step further. He said, I cover an AHL team, and there's literally a guy in the very next seat to me that works for an online casino that tracks the game. There you go. That's all you need to know. You can bet on the AHL. If you're betting the AHL, man, all the power to you. Let's see here. You guys are texting the show. 888-670-8549 if you want to text us. 888-670-8549. Let's see. Sam in the Upper Peninsula tweeting at the show says Shane Battier and company were good too. Yeah, they were pretty good. That's true. Speaking of Upper Peninsula in that part of the country, and I have yet to discuss this on the show tonight. Maybe I should hold it until the next hour. This whole thing with Mike Budenholzer in Milwaukee is just mind-blowing to me. I was texting tonight with our friend Kurt Heelan of Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com. It absolutely is befuddling to me. This is how organizations go south, by the way, when stuff like this starts to happen. They fired. Oh, there's Danny DeVito. We were just talking about him last night. You had a situation where Mike Budenholzer just won a title for this organization as a head coach in 2021. And 2 years later, he sucks. He's out of a job. 2 years later? Try explaining that to a fan base. Try explaining that to me. Or all you have to do is try explaining it to Giannis Antetokounmpo, which apparently he was okay with. Because things like this don't happen without the approval of your stars. And Giannis Antetokounmpo went into the post-game presser after the Bucks lost to the Heat and said, essentially, we were too slow to adjust. And that, to me, is a swing and a long fly ball to left field that's leaving the park. That's a shot at Mike Budenholzer. So Budenholzer winds up bearing the brunt for a Bucks team that won 58 games. So he's a great regular season coach and he sucks in the postseason? Well, then how do you explain the fact that he just won a championship 2 years ago? Oh, maybe that was Phoenix's fault. Phoenix wasn't that good. How are you going to rationalize this? Again, just from a business standpoint. You had a business, and 2 years ago, it was great. Made tons of money. You gave a raise to the manager, the general manager. Everybody gets a raise. Then 2 years later, it goes south. All of a sudden, it's the manager's fault. He went from being a great head coach, a championship head coach, to being a sucky head coach 2 years later. Say it out loud. It doesn't make sense. Bucks get what they deserve. You know, I'll be curious to see who winds up in line. Who are you thinking? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a possibility. Problem is the guy that Giannis would have wanted, and Kurt Heelan pointed this out to me, so I'm not going to take credit for it. I could, because that's what everybody in this business does. Nobody has an original thought. But I'll come out and say it. Kurt Heelan said to me, the guy that Giannis wants signed with the Lakers to be the head coach this year. That's the problem. Giannis wants Darvin Ham. And they're not getting Darvin Ham. That's the problem. So Darvin Ham, joined the Lakers this year and became their head coach, and I think has done an admirable job, if not a good job, through all the adversity that this team has faced this season. That's the guy he wanted. I mean, who are you getting? Who are you going to get in Milwaukee next year? I wonder if my man Stan Van Gundy's going to interview for that job. Stan's never closed the door on coaching. I think he's had like 5 different coaching jobs. Nick Nurse certainly will be a possibility. I'm trying to think who else might be out there as a potential head coaching candidate. Yeah. Kenny Smith's name has been bounced around for years, but more with the Knicks than anything when they needed a head coach. I'm not sure who you're thinking of. Nate McMillan, who got let go in Atlanta. I'm sure his name will be bounced around. There's going to be a bunch of the usual suspects that their names get bounced around. 127-98, by the way, is the score here. No more live betting being taken on the game. But if you did take the Lakers plus 28.5, you're feeling pretty good right now because it's 127-100 with 110 to go. So you're feeling like you got a shot here if you took the Lakers plus 28.5. And if you do and you win, it's going to just embolden you to make more stupid bets like that, and eventually you're going to lose your pants. Just saying. Oh, that's it. They just took the game off the board. There is no more NBA betting tonight. They won't even show it. They won't even show it on the list. We're done. No, it's still there. 127-100, and that's going to be it. If you took it if you got it at 28.5, looks like you're a winner tonight. Congratulations. If you got it like us at plus 10.5, yeah, you're going home a loser. My apologies on that. We'll be joined by Nick Hamilton coming up shortly from Nightcast Media. Nick Hamilton from Nightcast Media and Sirius XM Radio will join us coming up. And I don't know, we might get him to end the hour. We'll see. See if we have him on here to end the hour. If not, we'll get him for the start of next hour and get his thoughts on this Warriors win over the Lakers. He's in Los Angeles, and it'll be interesting to see what he has to say about the Lakers' chances in Game 2 of this series. Lakers run out the clock. It's a final 127-100. Golden State wins Game 2. But again, if you're the Lakers, you came to Golden State to get at least one, and you did that. And you rested your guys basically the entire fourth quarter. So now we'll see what happens in Game 3 of this series back in Los Angeles on Saturday night. I think we said Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night. And last time I checked ticket prices for that game, the lowest ticket price you could get was $450. And I'm talking like nosebleeds. Bring an oxygen mask. $450. Cheapest tickets. Final hour of the cash in on this Thursday/Friday is next on SportsMap Radio. Actually, it's not. I don't know why I thought it was the end of the hour. That's my bad. Thought it was the end of the hour. Yeah. Stan Van Gundy. Let's see if Stan is tweeting anything interesting. Very interesting. Stan has been very quiet on Twitter, which tells me some "15 minutes till the top of the hour.
relatively quickly. And now they're going to have to get another game plan ready for Game 3 if they want to go ahead and snatch home court from the LA Lakers on Saturday night. So Steph, Clay, Draymond, we expect great things out of those players, but other players are going to start having to step up as well. People like Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, they're going to have to start being more effective on the offensive end of the ball as well, because this is going to be a very grueling series. I said this was going to be a 7-game series, and I'm definitely going to stick to that, because I think they're going to these two teams, these juggernauts, as it were, between the Lakers and the Warriors, are going to definitely beat themselves up like two heavyweights in a boxing match.
Joined by Nick Hamilton, Nightcast Media, Sirius XM Radio, joining us here on the Cash-In SportsMap Radio and the SportsMap Radio app. We were having this interesting conversation. Where do you put Stephen Curry all time? In terms of shooting guard, he's the greatest shooter I've ever seen of the basketball, so I'll give him that. Where do you put him all time when you start talking about shooting guards, the all-time greats of the game? I was having this conversation with our producer Charles earlier, and I always get myself in a lot of trouble, especially when I used to be on the air in San Francisco, because while I think he's the greatest shooter I've ever seen, and he's obviously won, I can make the argument with a guy like Curry that if he had spent the first 10 years of his career on the Knicks, he doesn't win anything. How much of it is a product of the system and the guys around him, allowing him to be free and roam around and shoot all these threes? How do you stack up Curry?
Well, I think you also have to look at the fact of if he gets a 5th championship before he retires, you could definitely have to put him in that GOAT conversation. I think you also have to put him ahead of Magic Johnson, who a lot of people think he's arguably the greatest guard, shooting guard, whatever you want to entitle him. And I also think that he is definitely part of the best backcourt duo in NBA history. It was previously held by Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, but him and Clay have definitely usurped those two great individuals. And as far as individuals are concerned, as far as Steph Curry's accolades, I think if he gets championship number 5, you may have to put him ahead of LeBron James as far as in that GOAT conversation.
Wow.
We always talk about. Yeah, I think you do, because I think also you look at how Steph has definitely changed the game. I mean, look how much Steph has impacted and changed the game, not only from an offensive standpoint, but from a defensive standpoint, as far as teams having to adjust to try to contain him. And you can give a lot of credit not just to Steve Kerr, but you can give a lot of credit to the development of Steph Curry's game by his previous head coach, Mark Jackson.
Nick Hamilton, founder of Nightcast Media, Sirius XM Radio. You said it's going to be a 7-game series. Who do you think's going to win?
Man, I'm split, man. I'm split I'm split like an old broken curtain, man. I said Lakers is 7, wink, wink. But I also feel like the Warriors can win it in 7, because I think the Warriors are as we've seen it in years prior, they tend to figure themselves out by each round, right? Especially last year when we watched the Warriors, who did an incredible job making sure that they held on to home court. But I think this year, this is a different team. I think they came into the season with some turmoil. Obviously, we saw the punch that Draymond Green delivered to Jordan Poole. That didn't sit well in the locker room, I'm sure. Egos had to be massaged, fences had to be mended. And so you see, oftentimes you see a lot of that, the competitive nature, as it were, going back and forth between teammates. But I think this is a different Warriors team. And I think this is a Warriors team that didn't have a lot of frontline help. They had a lot of injuries through this season. So this is a different Warriors team with a big bullseye on their backs. And I think they're learning about themselves, and they're learning a different dynamic about themselves on how to make adjustments significantly and how to win ball games the way they need to win ball games to advance.
Nick Hamilton, founder of Nightcast Media, Sirius XM Radio. Find him on Twitter, Nick Hamilton 213. He's a good follow there, no matter what I say to him. Nick, I always appreciate it, my friend. Be well.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Nick Hamilton, stopping by the show for a few minutes. Final hour of the show is right around the corner. I promise it's true. It's the Cash-In. Hey, Nick, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Absolutely, my man. Be well. Bye-bye. Final hour of a Thursday/Friday edition of the show. Friday. Good to have you with us. Darvin Ham met with the media a short time ago. Some of what he had to say following this Lakers loss, this Lakers annihilation in San Francisco against the Warriors.
I think just our stagnation, I felt like, I still have to go back and watch the game. And but my gut feeling, my instincts tell to me that my eyes saw us settle a little bit. We mishandled the ball some early. We were right there early on, neck and neck. But a couple of possessions got away from us early. And I just thought they did a good job of crowding the paint and not allowing us, trying to prevent us from playing downhill as much. And that in turns affect, what.
Oh, we lost him. Well, he was there. You'll have to trust me. There's more of Darvin Ham.
So we'll go back to the drawing board and look at different ways we can sustain what we did well and what we've done well over the course of these first two games, and then look at what we can possibly do better.
Of course, new series now, but you lose game 2 in Memphis after winning game 1. You get back home. Is there a different type of a sense of your team and how you think that you will respond, and how different are these series than what these opponent challenges are?
And I fully anticipate our team to respond in the right way.
Darvin, 11 points tonight, 11 shots, 1 free throw attempt. What did you make of Draymond's defense against him? And you referenced crowding the paint. They obviously, anytime he was rolling or trying to catch the ball, there was 2-3 guys around him at all times.
Dre, he's going to do his work early. And, it's the reason why he's a perennial all defensive player. He's going to force tough catches, and when he's on the ball, his own ball activity is second to none, and he's a good communicator. If A is not trying to go at him, we're going into a secondary action after getting the ball to A. He's great about that, whether he has to switch or talk his guy through the scenario. He's been top shelf his entire career in that regard. So. Again, we got to go back and look at ways we can move A around, put them in different spacing, different actions, and just try to diversify his attack.
Darvin, you guys went the entire postseason from the playing round, first round, and game 1 against Golden State without allowing 40 in a quarter, and you do it second and third quarter today. Where do you think your defense wasn't up to snuff tonight?
I just think just being ready from the ball leaving our shooters' hands, sprinting back in transition, getting matched up, communicating. You make one slip, you miss one assignment, and they're going to make you pay. And as I mentioned before, they're probably most dangerous once they give the ball up. And that's when that's when the race starts. Those guys' ability to run around on the floor and their bigs and their facilitators, guys, knowing where they can blindly throw a pass, and that pass is going to be connecting to Clay or Steph or Jordan right in their spot. They have a lot of pride, a ton of pride. They're a championship ball club for a reason. And, after game 1, we fully anticipated them to come out and throw some haymakers, which they did. And, Clay got off. He was seeing the ball go in early and often. So, again, we got our work cut out for us. But, you don't get to this point in the season by it being easy. You have to buckle down, do your homework, look at ways, the W's and L's, the wisdom and losses, the lessons, and look at ways you can get better from it and try not to make the same mistakes twice.
So there you go. That's what you got out of Darvin Ham. Post-game with the Lakers head coach after a blowout loss in Game 2 of the Western Conference semifinal series. A win for the Warriors tonight, big. And Game 3 will shift the scene over to Los Angeles at Crypto.com Arena. 127-100, the final tonight. 41 points for the Warriors in the second quarter, 43 points in the third quarter, and that pretty much put the game away. So we'll see what happens. The adjustments now. Look, you got adjustments from the Warriors Game 1 to Game 2. Now you're going to get adjustments from the Lakers Game 2 to Game 3. It's this chess match that we always see inside of an NBA playoff series. And it's what makes, it's one of these things that makes playoff basketball so much different than the regular season. And we get so wrapped up in what we see in the regular season. And I'll admit, I'm guilty of this. We like to think that a team is what it is when we get to the postseason, that we know everything about a team. But the fact of the matter is, when you're playing the same team every day or every other day for 6 or 7 straight games, it comes down to adjustments. And ultimately, that's what got Mike Budenholzer, which is it's still insane to me that Budenholzer's out as the head coach of the Bucks. That's what ultimately got him exiled out of Milwaukee, was this inability to adjust, I guess they'll say. And tonight we saw a Lakers team that just they didn't have any answers. It's kind of hard to adjust to a team who's 21 of 42 from 3-point range. And that's basically what you had with the Warriors tonight. So that is what you got from Darvin Ham. We'll see if we can get some audio from Steve Kerr as well coming up as we continue through the hour. That is not the only playoff game going on tonight. Dallas leads Seattle 4-1, 7:09 to go, third period in the Big D, with the Stars looking to even up that best-of-7 Western Conference semifinal series at a game apiece. Goals tonight for the Stars. Joe Pavelski, his 5th of the series. A power play goal. Early stages of the second period made it late stages of the second period made it 3-1 Dallas, and right now they lead that game 4-1 as they play, getting late there. 4-1 Stars on top of Seattle. So we will keep you posted on what is going on in that game. All the baseball stuff is done for today as well. Getaway day for a lot of Major League Baseball teams, so not a lot of baseball. How about Detroit? I mean, the Mets got swept by the Tigers today, and I know we're on in Detroit, so I'm not trying to disrespect the Tigers. But I mean, if you're in Detroit, you know how bad the Tigers are. I mean, they came into this series against the Mets, I think 10-17, and now the Tigers are 13-17 because they swept the Mets. Sweep the Mets, sweep the Mets. Justin Verlander got the start for the Mets. He was not bad though. 5 innings, 2 earned. First start of the year for him. But rough day, man. Tigers sweep the Mets out of Detroit. 2-0 was the final score there. And it gets the Tigers back to 13-17 on the year. Washington beat the Cubs today 4-3. Boy, did Pittsburgh learn a lesson. The Pirates went into Tampa Bay to play the Rays, feeling really good about themselves, right? Leaders in the NL Central had one of the best records in baseball. They get swept out of Tampa Bay. They've dropped 4 in a row. I think it was a 4-game series. It did not go well. They lose today. Final score was 3-2. I'm sorry, it was 3. It was a 3-game series. So they get swept. They've lost 4 in a row. 3 straight in Tampa Bay. 3-2 Rays over the Pirates. Tampa Bay is an astonishing 26-6. And look, do I expect them to keep this pace? No, but I'll tell you what, they got an interesting series with the Yankees coming up this weekend. And boy, I mean, they could put a real hurt on the Yankees. If Tampa Bay is playing the way it's playing, you see what's going on with the Yankees right now, despite the fact they won 2 of 3 from the Cleveland Guardians this weekend. It could get real ugly for the Yankees in Tampa Bay. And you know the Rays are going to want to send a message. I know it's early season. It's baseball in May. Who cares? Tampa Bay right now is plus 114 in run differential. We're 32 games into the season. They are a plus 114. The next closest team is plus 69. I mean, it's just goofy. It's absolutely goofy. The AL East is totally on its head. Tampa Bay is 26-6. Baltimore won again today. They're 21-10. Those are your top 2 teams in the AL East. Boston's 19-14. A lot of people thought they'd be dead last in the division. Boston's won 6 in a row. I don't know how, but they've won 6 in a row. Alex Verdugo is a big part of the reason why. Toronto's 18-14, and the Yankees are 17-15. AL East is still so good, though. I mean, the Yankees are dead last, and they're 17-15. I mean, right now, the leading teams in the AL Central and AL West have 18 wins. It goes to show you how mediocre those divisions are. Yeah, Minnesota's 18-14. Texas is 18-12. Matter of fact, I mean, the AL West, they're all bunched up. The Mariners have gotten off to a dreadful start this year. They're 15-16. And they still got every chance to rebound and be a factor in the AL West because Texas is leading the AL West right now at 18-12. All right, we're coming back Should have some comments from Steve Kerr, more post-game reaction on the Warriors win over the Lakers. The cashing continues on SportsMap Radio. My boy Gunnar Henderson had a home run today. We like that. I got an autographed minor league card of his. It's about a $200 card. Yeah. How's my boy Ezekiel Tovar doing? My boy Ezekiel Tovar! 1 for 3 today, hitting 222, couple RBIs. Okay. Take that. It's another really good card I have. Bryce Terang. All right. Warriors post game. Rolling along on this Thursday edition of the show. Thursday/Friday. Thursday/Friday edition of the show. Already it's Friday. It's crazy. So the Lakers fall. We'll see if we get more post-game out of the Warriors locker room. Be interested to hear what Steve Kerr has to say as we continue to break down this win for the Warriors. 127-100 was the final score tonight. LeBron James, 23 points on 10 of 18 shooting. Hit his first couple of shots coming out. Also had 7 rebounds, 3 assists in the loss. It wasn't pretty for the Lakers. I mean, there's just no getting around it. Not the kind of day. Not the kind of day you want to have. While we wait for more post-game sound, some of the other news of the day, I think this stuff is hilarious. So Lamar Jackson now says he wants to throw for 6,000 yards. Did you see this? Yeah, I mean, look. Yeah, Lamar Jackson's going to throw for 6,000 yards, he says. No. He wants to. I'm serious. He wants to throw for 6,000 yards. Take the W, right? Take the W. Lamar Jackson. Here we go. Because I do not make these things up. I want to throw for like 6,000 yards with the weapons we have, Jackson said with a laugh. I'm not an individual award type guy or a stat watcher. I just want to do that because no one has ever done it, and I feel like we have the weapons to do it. I always laugh when guys say, I'm not a stat watcher or an individual kind of guy. You're not? Really? You just held out and basically held the team hostage to give you all this money. You're not an individual guy? Not about you? Not at all? Come on, Lamar.
Well, we've been negotiating. Like, we really didn't never stop negotiating. You know, we was always keeping in contact. Eric reached out to me a lot, and comment back. Coach reached out to me, and we go back and forth with that. But definitely having Odell and those guys reach out to me as well. It's like, man, we need you here, and it was like I want to be there. It's not like I want to leave anyways. It was business.
Lamar, what does it mean to you that John and Eric here never faltered in saying that they wanted you back here and they wanted you and saw you as their quarterback?
Say that again.
John and Eric never faltered in saying off the contract negotiations that you are their guy. Yeah. What does that mean to you that they never seemed to question that you would be back?
Yeah, it means a lot, just to have, guys, your head coach and your GM wanting you to be here and believing in you, believing you can help your team achieve the almighty, ultimate goal, within football and the NFL football like that. It's like, I wouldn't want to go no other place.
Good luck. That's all I got to say. Good luck. They will never win a Super Bowl with that dude at quarterback. I promise you. They'll never. I'll do you one better. They won't even reach a Super Bowl with that guy at quarterback. They won't even reach one. 5 years, $260 million. They won't. What do you mean? What should make me change my mind? No, come on. Almost beat the Bengals without him. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. The guy is 1-2 in his postseason career. 1-2. I haven't seen anything out of Lamar Jackson. Look, he's a running quarterback. He's not a pocket passer. He's going to be, sixth year in the league now. You're not talking about a guy that's going to be able to continue running at that level, which means he's going to have to become a more accurate passer than he currently is. And I haven't seen anything in his statistics. If you go and look, the last 4 years, his completion percentage has actually gone down. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. And look, here's what I will say. They got some guys around him now. I do like the fact they got OBJ, especially on a 1-year deal because he's going to be motivated. I love Zay Flowers. I think he's going to be a good slot guy. And it means Mark Andrews doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting for this team. So now, here's the problem. There's a reason receivers for all these years haven't gone to play with Lamar Jackson. Remember, they didn't have these cap issues for Lamar Jackson until, basically now, because now it's going to be a little more difficult in terms of, navigating around the cap. Up until now, they've had cap space. It's not like receivers have been lining up to come and play with Lamar Jackson. Do you ever wonder why receivers weren't lining up to come and play with Lamar Jackson? They'd love. You got Juju Smith-Schuster to take $5 to go play in Kansas City last year. Everybody wants to play with him. But everybody wants to play with him. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, all these guys. Everybody wants to play with him. You ever wonder why nobody wants to play with Lamar Jackson? The only reason OBJ went there, the only reason, is because he got his bag and nobody else was going to give him his bag. That's the only reason OBJ went there. And let me tell you, wait until like week 4 or 5 when Lamar's running around trying to make plays with his legs instead of finding Odell Beckham Jr. streaking down the sideline, and Odell Beckham Jr. is, throwing things at kicking nets, knocking over water coolers, having to be held back from going after offensive coordinators. You wait. Just you wait. Oh, I'm going to be there with my popcorn. I'm going to love every second of it. I think he's a good quarterback. You know what I think he is? I'll tell you what I think he is. I think he's a good regular season quarterback. There are guys that are built for the regular season that aren't built for the postseason. When you get to the postseason and you start playing against the best of the best. Now, and granted, the playoffs have expanded a bit now, so it's not necessarily the best of the best. You can argue there's probably going to be 2 teams in the NFL playoffs every year that don't probably belong in the NFL playoffs. But cast that aside for a second. Once you start playing the best of the best, a lot of these teams, they got spies. They got guys that they can legitimately say, your lone job is to watch Lamar Jackson. They got roamers. And now all of a sudden, what makes him so effective, his ability to run the football, he no longer can do. And now he's got to throw the football. And when he has to throw the football in the postseason so far, hasn't been very good. There wasn't enough of a body of work compared to Lamar. We've had 5 years of Lamar. We had 1 year of Jalen Hurts as a starter. So I don't think there was enough of a body of work. And I think a lot of people thought that he would make an improvement. I don't think anybody thought he would improve to the degree he has. And I'm still not sure even the contract. Look, sometimes we're all held prisoner to the moment. And, Jalen Hurts' deal is a massive deal. And, you can argue that he basically was able to hold that team captive by virtue of the fact that he had a great year last year. I mean, they could have waited. They didn't have to go and sign him. But after that kind of a year, you decide, that was probably the best price they were ever going to get for him. What happens if Jalen Hurts regresses this year? What happens if teams get smart? And all of a sudden, Jalen Hurts goes backwards this year, and you've just given him this monster deal. Then what? You're stuck because so much of that money is guaranteed. I just think some of these QB contracts are insane. All of them. I think a lot of them are insane. And the next one that Herbert gets will be insane, and the one that Burrow gets will be insane. Look, what do you even do if you're Miami? What do you do if you're Miami? You've got a situation where you've got Tua Tagovailoa, can't stay healthy. He's got all these concussion issues. Let's say he stays concussion-free this year, and you got to go pay him, knowing that the next hit could be the one that puts him in a permanently vegetative state, and you're going to go give him all this guaranteed money. I just think the quarterback deals in the NFL. Daniel Jones got like $30 million a year. He's had one good year, arguably 1.5 good years. It's just nuts. The contract deals are crazy. Herbert's going to get his, and Lawrence is going to get his, and Burrow's going to get his. And they can't all win Super Bowls, so a lot of those contracts are going to wind up being very disappointing for some of these organizations if the idea is we're paying you this to win a Super Bowl. And I'm sorry, Lamar Jackson's not going to win a Super Bowl. Not as the quarterback he is now. And I don't ever really hear of a willingness to change the kind of quarterback he is. So I think this is what he is. I think this is who he is. He's a good regular season quarterback. You'll win games with him in the regular season. I need to see him do something in the postseason besides go 1-2. It's not even the best quarterback in his own division. There's no arguing that. If I give you Lamar or Joe Burrow, who are you taking? Charles, who are you taking? You know who you're taking. We're coming back. Stick around. I'm not a Lamar Jackson guy. Never will be. Never will be. Never will be. Those guys, I'm telling you. Nah. He could. Well, here's the thing. He could, but will he? You can say all day, well, I think he will. Until he does, that's just, that's pie in the sky. Steve Young, again, God, it makes me feel old to say before your time. But Steve Young was a run-first quarterback. When did Steve Young win a Super Bowl? When he became more of a pocket passer. And I'm not saying you have to be. Look, Patrick Mahomes runs around, makes plays with his legs, extends plays, all of that stuff. But can you extend plays and then make the throw that matters? And I'm not talking about doing it during the regular season. I'm talking about during the postseason. And I just don't believe Lamar Jackson can. I really don't. I love. Yeah, I don't think his arm is anything special. I really don't. I'm just not. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I got to show me. Huh? Like I said, his best chance to do it might be this year because OBJ is there for 1 year, and I don't know if he'll be there for more than 1 year. His best shot to do it's going to be this year. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. I got to fix something on my headphones. Hold on. Can't hear anything right now. See if that's any better. Having issues with my headphones. Gotta shorten one of my friggin' headphones. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry about that. Yeah, I just... One of my earbuds is... One of my in-ear monitors is being stupid, but it's okay. Go ahead. I can hear you. We'll see. We'll see on Deshaun. He definitely gets a pass for last year. What'd you say? Say that again. Watson? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. It's an interesting I don't know if I'm there on Deshaun. Not to say he can't be, but post-game coverage of the Warriors' 127-100 win over the Lakers, continuing here on the Cash In on SportsMap Radio. Steve Kerr at the podium a short time ago.
Johnny, the second and third quarters are obviously huge quarters for you guys. What did you think turned it there? What happened in those two quarters?
I thought we just played simple basketball, kept our turnovers down, moved the ball. Our guys were playing with a lot of force, a lot of aggressiveness, but making good decisions within that aggression, and that's the key. Can you find that balance? Can you play with pace and confidence, and yet make really simple decisions, hit singles, and just move the ball. I thought Steph was brilliant. In the first half, he wasn't really going like offensively, but he was just running our team, and Clay got it going, and our defense was, kind of fueling our offense, and we connected the game really well.
Coach, obviously, Klay Thompson was spectacular tonight.
Where am I looking?
Right here.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But JaMychal Green, he seemed to have been one of the adjustments made from game 1 to game 2. And, 15 points, 12 minutes, 50% from 3. It seemed that he helped spacing on the floor. What would you say about the fact that you decided to go with him in the starting lineup and then later, and how much he helped you guys tonight?
Well, number one, I'm just proud of Mike. It's been a tough year for him, for a lot of reasons. He missed some time with a few different ailments. And then when he was healthy, he was out of the rotation. I didn't play him a whole lot, and he just stayed ready, and he took advantage of his opportunity, and this seemed like a series for him, just with the way the Lakers are playing us defensively, and I couldn't be happier for Mike. He's really earned this by just staying positive and staying ready.
Steve, what did you think of Draymond's defense, particularly on Anthony Davis, especially as you guys went to that small?
Yeah, Draymond was brilliant. This is the guy who we have to have. He's our engine, and we decided to put him on Davis tonight from the start.
So there you go, Steve Kerr with the media a short time ago, talking about the win for and look, Draymond was fantastic tonight. He was an assist shy of a triple-double. So, that's the Draymond they have to get if they're going to be able to come out on top in this series against a Laker team that, again, this is not the Lakers. This is not the same team that the Warriors just faced in Sacramento, that when it gets tight down the stretch, they're going to struggle. The Lakers in game 1 of this series coughed up a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. And when all was said and done, they still had their shot. And in the final couple of minutes, the Lakers were able to get the win and make some shots down the stretch to win 117-112. So, this is not a team that's going to wilt under the pressure of the postseason like the Kings obviously did. And again, it's not a knock against the Kings. It's their first time in this situation. LeBron James and Anthony Davis at the podium.
Some differences in Golden perspective, whether Steph having the ball more or the way that they defended AD. What stood out to you?
They made the adjustments, and we knew they were going to do that. That's what a championship team does, and they held serve on their home court tonight, and we got to obviously see the adjustments they make. We got to make our adjustments coming into Game 3.
And AD, just same question for you. Draymond started on you last game. Obviously, it was Looney. They played a little different on the other end as well with the spread offense. How did that impact you? Did you feel like?
I don't think so. I took all the same shots I took in Game 1. Just missed them. Elbow jumpers, pocket passes to the floater, same exact looks. Didn't shoot no shot that I didn't shoot in Game 1. Just missed them. That's all. Like Bon said, they made adjustments. Shot the ball extremely well from 3. So we'll be better. I'll be better. Making those shots. Get back home on our home floor, and try to take care of business.
This question's for either of you, but where did you feel like the game kind of slipped away tonight? Was it the third quarter when they made 8 threes and dropped 40+, or was it kind of right before halftime, or what did you see with that?
Yeah, going into half, up 11, went on the run, and then obviously third quarter, we know they're a big third quarter team, came out on fire, had 43 in the third, and also 41 in the second. So it's not like us on the defensive end to give up those type of quarters. So we got to be better defensively, but I think, going to halftime, when they made that run, just kind of, where it kind of, got away from us.
LeBron, you've seen them go on crazy runs in games in all your battles with them. What's sort of the key to to not letting those build and stack, and how do you kind of have to combat that?
You got to keep scoring, get to the free throw line as well, or just get points in the paint. They're going to go on runs. That's what they do. But you got to keep scoring, try to hold the fort down, obviously. But you give credit where credit is due. They played exceptionally well tonight, and we didn't. And the series is tied 1-1, so that's where we're at.
LeBron, you guys have been one of the best defensive team in the league over the last month plus, but the teams you played in the league, the Warriors are pretty unique the way they play compared to the rest of the league, with their personnel and continuity and all that. So what do you think it will take to make your defense shine as much as it has against this specific team?
Well, we still are. That doesn't change. We're still the best defensive team in the league, if not one of them. So that doesn't change, and that's what we hang our hats on. But like I said, you give credit where credit is due. Clay was spectacular tonight, and Draymond was great in the pocket pass with the rolls and things of that nature. Jermichael gave him big time minutes. Those 12 minutes felt like 24 minutes, 30 minutes. He was big time for their team in the starting role tonight too. So you give credit, like I said, where credit is due, and we move on to the next game. But our defense is that's where we hang our hat, and and that doesn't stop no matter who we're playing against.
How do you guys feel? Obviously, neither of you played in the fourth quarter. Did you come out of this thing all right? And did you feel that you contested their three-pointers enough in this game? Obviously, they're a great shooting team, but they made a lot of threes.
We feel great, and we did, yes, we contested threes.
AD, when they go small, obviously it stretches the defense and gets shooters to the corners. But does that change the way they were able to defend you guys too, with their movement? And even though they were smaller, were they more? Did you feel like they were more active in passing lanes and things like that?
Yeah, I think they're a little bit more active in the pocket. They kind of clogged the paint, in our pocket passes that were pretty open game one, and it didn't help that we didn't really shoot the ball well from three. So we start, making those shots, making those threes, be tough for them to pull in and kind of take away those pocket passes and us playing in the paint. So that's all I think it was. They made an emphasis on making sure that they try to find the guys on the perimeter, on the three-point line and clog the paint up a little bit.
All right, there you go. LeBron James and Anthony Davis, thoughts with them. They don't seem too frustrated to me. Don't seem that upset. They said it like it was. I mean, look, the Warriors held serve. Game 3 on Saturday night in Los Angeles. The opening line is Golden State plus 2.5. Golden State plus 2.5. Lakers minus 142 on the money line. Golden State plus 120. And the total for that game, 227.5. Wondering about the other 3 games coming up over the next couple of days. Celtics and 76ers in Philadelphia on tomorrow night, matter of fact, Friday night. Plus 2 to the 76ers in that game. They are plus 110 on the money line, and 214 is the total in that game. Nuggets and Suns, it is Phoenix minus 4. That's kind of interesting considering the state of affairs with Chris Paul. Boy, you know that Rocket fans know about this version of Chris Paul, don't they? Who would have thought? Who could ever think? Chris Paul reportedly expected to miss games 3 through 5. Remains to be seen. He's definitely out for game 3. We'll come back, tell you some more of the odds on the cash-in next. PTSD. It's totally a PTSD thing. Tomorrow's Friday. Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Friday. Two games tomorrow on ESPN.
Mr. Wayne. You don't fear death. You welcome it. I'm here to fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. I will show you where I have made my home whilst preparing to bring justice. You fight like a younger man. There's nothing held back. Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
I'm here to fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. So we've got all sorts of transfer portal madness going on in the NCAA. Teams, guys in the portal probably just going to the highest bidder at this point. It's true. I was thinking about this today. I was reading the story of a guy named Connor Vanover. And if you don't follow college basketball intimately, you may not know him. He played for Oral Roberts last year. He's 7'6", tallest player in college basketball, and he's now in the transfer portal. He averaged 12.7 points per game and 7.2 rebounds per game this past season. He's 7'6". And I was trying to ponder. You never really think about this all that much. But 7 foot, what is life like at 7'6"? Like, what is life like when you're that tall? That's exactly the thought I had. Because you're literally at nobody's level. Even your peers in the sport you play are a foot shorter than you by and large. Not a lot of 7-footers at the collegiate level. So you're 7'6", and you're literally just looking down on the world. People can see up your nose. Most people don't go much higher than like your elbows. Like his coach, like there's a picture of him next to his coach from when he was at Arkansas, because he's played at Arkansas and Cal. This kid's bounced around. And there's a picture of him next to his coach, and his coach literally goes up just past his elbows. Like, what is life like? I think you hit the nail on the head, Charles. This is why we have you on this show. The amazing insight. Lonely. That's it. That's all you need to say. You're lonely at 7'6". 7'6". I mean, just think about the basics. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, imagine just the basics. Driving a car. Driving a car at 7'6". Going to a dressing room to try on clothes. Do you even fit in a dressing room trying on clothes? How about taking a shower? Think about the average shower head. Taking a shower at 7'6". You got to crouch? Like, how do you take a shower when you're 7'6"? You got to sit down. I mean, you're sitting down and you're taller than most people. How tall are you, Charles? Oh, you're 6'3", so you know something about being taller than average. I mean, you're taller than average. What's the average height of a male? Is it? Average height for a guy, 69 inches. In the U.S., average height for a male is 69 inches. That's 5'9". So you were missing by an inch. So I'm average because I tell people, see, on my driver's license, okay, I'm going to fill you all in on a little secret here. Okay. Shh, it's just us talking. On my driver's license, I say I'm 5'10". But if you put a tape measure to me, I'm actually 5'9". Just saying. Yep. It's true. It's true. I'm not 5'10". I've always thought I was 5'10", and then I just kind of assumed I was 5'10" forever. And then recently I put like a tape measure up and I'm like 5'9". But 5'10" sounds so much better than 5'9", doesn't it? See, you don't know because you're 6'3". Just saying. It's crazy. 5'9". Average height of a male, 5'9". See, now this is interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. 5'9". I wonder if it's different. Women, men, Asian, Latino, black. Like if there's a difference in the average height depending on nationality. You know what I mean? I wonder if there's a difference in that. How big is Victor Wembanyama, by the way? Victor Wembanyama height. Victor Wembanyama is 7'2". He plays like a point guard. Can't wait to watch him next year. All we could hope for is that it's in San Antonio. Don't make that boy go to Houston. Please don't make that boy go to Houston. You could have Scoot Henderson. Okay? How funny would it be if San Antonio got Wembanyama and Detroit got Scoot Henderson and you get the leftovers at number 3? It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Well, Wembanyama winds up in San. If the draft is fixed, everybody always thinks the draft is fixed. You get this every year. Like when the Knicks got Patrick Ewing at number 1 a zillion years ago. People will still to this day say that was fixed so that the Knicks got Ewing. Which, by the way, it's not even like they won a championship with him there anyway. But Wembanyama goes to San Antonio at 1. If it's fixed, Wembanyama is going there. You can count on it. By the way, we were talking about head coaches before. You know who interviewed for the Pistons job? The guy who coached UConn to a national championship, not the most recent one. The former NBA player. Oh, God, what's his name? Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. You know who I'm thinking of. Yeah. Yeah, please look it up. He interviewed for the Pistons job. He's back in the market for potential NBA gigs. So he could be somebody. I think he may have to go be an assistant somewhere before he gets an opportunity to be a head coach again. But the fact the Pistons even talked to him was kind of interesting to me, I thought. Did you find his name? This is going to drive me nuts. I've interviewed him. I can't think of his name. It's amazing. I've interviewed him, and I cannot think of his name. While our intrepid producer, Charles Carter, finds that, I will tell you, news out of the NFL today, Giants have two guys right now that they're trying to figure out contract situations for. They got one of them figured out today. Dexter Lawrence, 4 years, $90 million extension, includes $60 million guaranteed. Now the Giants got to figure out a solution for Saquon Barkley, who they gave a franchise tag to, and he has yet to sign because he wants a deal. What is it? Kevin Ollie. Oh, my God, I could not think of it. It's going to drive me crazy. Kevin Ollie. Yeah, I couldn't think of it. So the Giants get Dexter Lawrence done, and he was an All-Pro this year, so that was something they definitely need to get sorted out. But Saquon Barkley is still a situation that they're going to have to get resolved. Last thing before we go, you may remember when Aaron Rodgers was going through his off-season of, well, whatever you want to call it. There was this report from Ian Rappaport that came out, and Aaron Rodgers lashed out and said that Ian Rappaport doesn't know bleep about him, basically. He says, I have no problem with Ian Rappaport. I think they're really good at their jobs. When it comes to me, talking about Schefter and Rappaport, they don't know anything, basically. There's an inner circle, and in my inner circle, Aaron Rodgers said, there's an inner circle, and in my inner circle, nobody talks to Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter or to any of those people. Just stop with the fake news. Wonder where we've heard that before. I speak for myself, and I will continue to do that. I have no problem with Ian Rappaport and Schefter. I think they're really good at their jobs. When it comes to me, they don't know bleep. They really don't. Ian Rappaport has finally responded to this on the Jimmy Traina SI Media podcast. He said, I don't mind any of that, Rappaport said. Just being totally honest, I really don't. We all spend so much time on TV critiquing and analyzing football stuff, personal stuff, literally every part of it. We do it for hours on podcasts and radio and TV, everything. So when he gets a microphone, he's allowed to say whatever he wants as far as I'm concerned, Rappaport said. I really didn't take offense to that. There's nothing offensive in there anyway. I feel like I know plenty about him, Rappaport then said. I've broken plenty of stories about him. I don't mind if we're going to ask for access from these guys and we're going to want them to be honest. We got to accept what they say. If he doesn't want to be reported on the way he's been reported on, 1, okay. 2, he's allowed to respond to it. I didn't take offense to that. I'd rather have an open line of communication and someone be honest with me. If I was talking to him one-on-one and he said that to me to my face, I'd actually appreciate that rather than the opposite, so at least we can talk on a regular human level. Rappaport also said he does have Rodgers' phone number, but unlike Schefter, Rodgers has not told him to lose it. That's how we wrap up this Thursday edition of the show. We're back on Friday. Charles will be here, so will I. I'm Jason Page. That's the Cash In on SportsMap Radio. Bye! All right, Charles. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a good night, my man. All right, bye-bye. Bum. That does it for us on the video side as well. Thanks to all of you for watching, listening, doing whatever it is you do while you watch and listen. I'll see you all tomorrow back here, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, SportsMap Radio, the SportsMap Radio app. Love you guys. Have a great night.